here's the true reason why you get distracted. You don't get distracted because you lack willpower or because there's just too much distraction around you. You get distracted for a much deeper reason. A reason that is really embedded in how you are wired from when you're born. It's something that is inside of all human beings, and once you understand this underlying motive, you can start stopping your distraction. You can start being actually focused and be able to get all the things that you want to get done. And there are actually seven underlying motives, 7 real true causes for your distractions. I'm going to tell you about them. And I'm going to give you also a list of techniques and lessons, most of them taken from the book Atomic Habits by James Allen, I think, not sure. But they will help you just stop being distracted, get focused, and get your life back, because distractions are eating your life away. Like really. I had a blocking app installed, and it taught me that in the next 30 years, if I kept using my phone as I was going to lose almost 8 years of my life. It's insane. And so if you want to get these years back, like when I thought about it, I was like kind of almost emotional. I was like, this is really important. Like I really need to get this done. Now, on my phone, fortunately for me, I spend most of the time just using the clock app. So it's just my phone staying, like the screen is still on because I need the timer. And so this was like almost half of my use. But still, like 4 years, I want to get this back. And so if you want to get this back, and maybe you're not distracted only on your phone, but also when you work, and whenever you get distracted, you waste so much time that you could be using to enjoy your life truly and get to your goals. So yeah, we're going to talk about this. And by the way, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Ivaldi. I went from being a broke personal trainer in France to now working with millionaires around the world and building up my own business to 7 figures soon. And on this podcast, I just document what I learn myself to stop being distracted, to improve my life, to become truly free and successful, and just tell it to you. I tell you like real stuff I learn myself so that it can actually help you out. I don't talk about, hot topics, even though maybe habits may be hot topics. I don't know. I have no idea. I just record stuff I learn about, and I tell you how I deal with it. So maybe you can use this for you. Most people don't talk about the things I talk about because it's actually my own experience. Like I'm in the trenches trying to grow a business and trying to not get distracted, to get focused. So I'll tell you about it. So if this interests you, subscribe and let's get into it. So in this chapter, this is by the way, this is kind of the part 2 of the last episode of the podcast, which was about distractions as well, about habits. And this one is more about like discovering the underlying motive, the true reason why you get distracted. And so when you understand it, it's much easier to stop. And so in the book, he talks about the inversion of the second law of behavior change. There are 4 laws of behavior change, and I'll tell you about it in the last episode. And this law of behavior change that we talk about here is the law of he talks about making it unattractive, right? It's the inversion. So if you want to create a new habit, you must make it attractive to make it easier to create this habit. And if you want to stop a habit, if you want to stop distractions, you must make it unattractive. Now, to make it unattractive, you must understand a few things, and you must most importantly understand the true reason why you get distracted. And so he says, every behavior has a surface level craving. You have a surface level craving. You want right now. You want a donut. This is a surface level craving. Right now, you want this distraction. Right now, you want to get distracted a little bit on social media. Right? You want this little bit. You have this surface level craving, but this has an underlying deeper motive, a deeper underlying motive, and your habits are modern day solutions to ancient desires. This is very important to understand. What you're doing when every behavior, by the way, every behavior has a surface level craving and a deeper underlying motive. And so when you do something, it's not just because of, oh yeah, you want to go on social media. No, it's just because you needed something much deeper. And here are the seven main underlying motives, true causes of any behavior. Not only distractions, and distraction is one of them, is one behavior, but all behavior, everything that you do, you work, you chase your goals, you talk in a certain way, everything is based on these seven, at least most of them, I think, are based on these seven underlying motives. So 1, conserve energy. 2, obtain food and water. 3, find love and reproduce. For example, there are businesses, the most successful businesses, I think, are built on these seven underlying motives. I had read a book on marketing, on the foundation of marketing. It was an old book, but really, really good. And it talked about, I think, 7 or 8 biggest motivators of human beings. The things that motivates the most human beings. And if you make your advertisement about this thing and you show how your product solves this need, people will buy. Like, a lot of people will have the desire for this because there's an underlying motive. It helps them. Basically, all these 7 underlying motives, these 7 causes, are things that we want as human beings to survive. And they are wired in us since we were kids, since ancient times, because we needed to survive. We needed these to survive in the old times when we were in a tribe, right? In old civilization, we needed these, and so it's wired in our brains. And so 1, conserve energy. 2, obtain food and water. 3, find love and reproduce. For example, Tinder uses like this. This is the underlying motive they use to make, like, and this is also why you use Tinder. 2, find love and reproduce. 4, connect and bond with others, right? We have this need to survive. And Facebook uses this need. 5, win social acceptance and approval. This is kind of Instagram. Instagram is kind of like the status game. The people like you. And so you feel good about yourself because people like you. 6, reduce uncertainty. Google solves this need. When you're uncertain about something, you feel the need to go search on Google to feel safer, to reduce the fear of uncertainty. Because it might be dangerous. It might prevent you from surviving. 7, achieve status and prestige. This is also used by, I guess, Instagram. In the book, he gives the example of video games. In video games, you can achieve status by getting, experience points, right? You gain XP and you get prestige. You get a certain level. Maybe you unlock some things that show, okay, you're pretty good, right? You're someone. And so these are the 7 main things. Now you want to tie back all these to your current behaviors, and you want to have kind of do these things I'm going to talk to you about to make it easy for you to stop letting these underlying motives get you distracted. So you have to do things, and you also get to do them. He talks about this because basically we want to make a habit attractive or make it unattractive. And so to make a habit attractive, you can change the way you think about it. And so, for example, if you every time you do a certain behavior, you say, I'm stressed about this thing, you can say, I'm excited about this thing. And the different perspective that you get on it allows you to make it more attractive. So for example, for me, I'm always saying, I have to get this done. I have to work on this. I have to get this done in my business. I have to work on the business this time. Instead of saying I have to, I need to shift the perspective and say I get to do this. And both are true. I have to do this, like this is something I really have to do, because if I don't do it, there's a bad consequence. But also, I get to do it, because I could be doing something much that I like a lot less. I could have to work for someone I don't like, right? And I used to do this. And putting this perspective makes me want to do it. It makes me want to have the behavior that I want to have, because it makes it attractive. It makes me like, I had a chance to do this. Come on, like you got to use this chance. The cause of your habits is actually the prediction that precedes them. The prediction leads to a feeling. This is very important. When you do a habit, the real reason you do a habit is because you predict in your mind that a reward is going to come from that. You're going to you predict that something is going to happen, and so this is to get the feeling of what this thing is going to get you, right? So you have the habit of eating junk food, and it's because you have the prediction that when you're going to eat it, you're going to feel good, you're going to feel satiated, you're going to feel better because you eat this junk food right now. And this is the prediction. Now, if you do predict that, and you really remember, and every time you think about junk food, you predict that if you eat this, you're going to feel bad afterward, it's going to make the behavior a lot less attractive. And if it's a lot less attractive, it's a lot less likely to be done by you. You're a lot less likely to do it because you just don't want to. For example, when I was in college, one day I wanted to eat McDonald's, right? So I went and ate McDonald's, and afterward I just felt kind of sick. I felt sick, and an hour after, even though I ate quite a lot, I didn't feel satiated. I felt really hungry. And so I felt like, what? McDonald's is a scam. I didn't enjoy the effect afterward. Like when I ate the burger, I kind of liked it. But when I stopped, I kind of felt bad. I felt like not good. And an hour after, I was so hungry. I was just completely shocked. And this stayed in my mind. I was like, well, if I'm still hungry after it, I don't want to eat McDonald's ever again. I don't want it. I don't want it because I felt sick after it, and I was really hungry after it. So I'm wasting my money to feel bad and to not feel not hungry anymore an hour after it. And so this way, it made the behavior of going and eating McDonald's a lot less attractive. I didn't want to do it anymore. And so guess what? It's been like 5 years maybe. I haven't eaten McDonald's. I never go to the McDonald's near me, like never. And any McDonald's whatsoever. I never go there because it's unattractive to me. I don't want it. Like there's no appeal in it. So you want to create this kind of thing with the thing that you struggle with. So you want to create and highlight the negative consequences of going and the positive consequences of not doing this thing. And I'm going to tell you about it right now. So yeah, this is exactly what it says in the book. Highlight the benefits of avoiding a bad habit to make it seem unattractive. Habits are attractive when we associate with them positive feelings, and unattractive when we associate with them negative feelings. Create a motivation ritual by doing something you enjoy immediately before a difficult habit. So this was something else. So you can associate a positive thing, a positive feeling with a behavior that you want to have. So for example, if you work, if you work for an hour, you get to do something you like. And so, or maybe you do this as a ritual. So every time right before you start working, you put on some music. And so this is the start of the work session. And so you put on some music, you get motivated, let's go, you like it, and then you get to start to work. And so this makes you want to start to work more, because every time you're going to work, you know before it, you're going to start listening to music and this awesome song you love. And so this makes you it makes the behavior more attractive. Then there was a chapter on walk slowly but never backward. The difference between motion and action. Motion is when you plan. And when you try to think of the best idea, this is motion. Action is when you actually do the thing that produced a result. You don't want to be merely planning, you want to be practicing, because sometimes we don't realize, but we feel good about planning. We feel good about being in motion, starting to think about it, starting to learn more about it. But what you want is to feel good about actually doing the thing. And doing a little bit of the thing is much better than thinking a lot of time about it. Spending a long time thinking and kind of being in motion, it's way better to just take some action. If you want a massive habit, or a habit that you're really good at, or a skill that you become really good at, the key is to start with repetition, not perfection. And I thought, because I'm going to start doing jiu-jitsu, at least I'm going to try to, I thought when the instructor, like the guy that teaches us, the teacher, I don't know what it's called in jiu-jitsu, the master, I don't know, when he gives us like 10 minutes to practice a movement, I could try it like 3 to 5 times, right? Like everybody else is going to. Or I could make it very fast and I could just try it a lot of times, right? And I could try it and repeat it like 20, 50 times in these minutes. And I'm going to be so much better at the end of these 10 minutes, the same amount of time, but with so much more repetition, I'm going to be so much better than everybody else around me. And this kind of hack motivated me a lot. I was like, okay, it can take me 30 years to have the same competence as someone that spent 1 year doing this thing, simply because in this 1 year you focus on that and you put so much reps in that you got the same repetition that this guy it took 30 years for him to make this amount of repetitions. And so this is kind of like an advantage that you get, but just by understanding and being motivated by this thing, hey, I can get so much more done just by repeating this so many more times. Habit formation is the process by which a behavior becomes progressively more automatic through repetition. And so when you want to create a habit, or you want to stop a negative habit, you can just replace it by a new one, for example. And you want to have the habit of not getting distracted, you can just repeat it a lot of time. So I remember at one point I want to increase my willpower. And so I had a technique which was to scroll on YouTube and have very appealing thumbnails in front of me and just not clicking. And so this made me like repeat the use of my willpower. Okay, I want to watch it, but I don't click it. I don't click. Okay, this is good. Or you go on, you want to watch something, you want to do something, and then you prevent yourself from doing it. And this is kind of like, it requires willpower, right? It requires to train your inhibition skills. And so the more I repeated, the more I got better. And so if you do this in a short amount of time, you get better a lot faster. And you create this habit. So if you do this every day, every week, it becomes automatic for you, right? So if you're used to every day at this time you go to the gym and every day you do it, you become a lot better at it, right? And there was one thing as well that I think was the most useful, because I got to make this shorter than I expected it to be. This is about the law of least effort. And he talks about the 2-minute rule. And the 2-minute rule is basically you just have to do something for 2 minutes. You want to create a habit of running. You don't create a habit of running 5 miles right away. You start small, because it's better to create a habit first to then be able to improve it, because you cannot improve a habit that does not exist, right? So you want to create a habit with the most simplest form of it, at the most simplest form. So for example, you want to create a habit of running 5 miles every day. You're not going to create this habit first. You're going to first create the tiniest action tied to it. So the first thing is, okay, you're just going to tie your shoes and go walk for 2 minutes. And this is the habit you're going to take first. Because once you get this habit, this is the habit. And then you can improve it. So instead of, you're already going out, right? So you might as well, instead of walking, you're going to run a little bit. And so you're going to run 2 minutes. And then, next thing you know, you can run just 5 minutes. 10. And then you get to a mile. And then you get to 5 miles, right? And so you can create this habit formation process with everything, right? So you want to work on your business more, you create the habit of I'm just going to work for 2 minutes. And next thing you know, if you just do it for 2 minutes, you do it for a long time. Now, you might trick yourself and think, I'm just tricking myself. I'm not going to do it for 2 minutes. I'm going to do it for much longer, so it's not going to work. So what you can do is actually do it just for 2 minutes. And don't allow yourself the possibility to do it for more. And you do this for a week, 2 weeks, and then you say, okay, I can do this for a little bit longer. It just, whatever. I can do it for a little bit longer. It just doesn't matter, because I'm still doing this. I'm already at the gym, right? You can create a habit of just going to the gym. I'm already there. I might as well work out. And then it's about environment. Right? You want to make it easy for you to access the thing that you want to do more of, and very hard for you to access the behavior or do the thing that is something that you don't want to do. For example, like having an app blocking app on your phone. So you prevent yourself from going on certain apps. And you prevent the access, or you put cues in your environment. You shape your environment in a way that makes you want to do the good things. For example, you put a book on your shelf, and you want like you are reminded more easily to read this book. Now, to be honest with you, it doesn't work at all for me, this book on the shelf thing, because I've used it too much. I always have 2 books on my desk, and maybe it's because I have 2, right? If I had 1, I wouldn't have to make a choice to pick one. So the choice is a friction. And so what you want to do is eliminate as many choices as possible, as many friction as possible between you and doing the thing that you want to happen, or doing the thing that you want to do. And for example, he gives the example of Japanese companies that looked for every friction point in the manufacturing process and then eliminated it. They subtracted wasted effort. They added customers and revenue by redesigning their workspace to reduce wasted motion. Successful companies design their products to automate, eliminate, or simplify as many steps as possible. They reduce the number of fields on each form. They pare down the number of clicks required to create an account. They deliver the products with easy to understand directions, or ask the customers to make fewer choices, right? It's much easier for a client to sign up to a thing that just requires the name of the email than to ask them also a lot of questions, right? So you want to reduce the friction as much as possible to doing the thing that you want to do. And this makes the environment conducive to creating the good habits and not conducive to creating the bad habits and to be distracted. Take your phone, put it away. in another room. Give it to your friend. Change the passwords of your social media profiles and give it to a friend and tell you, okay, you can only access these on Friday afternoon. And this is the only moment you're going to be able to access that. And so when you do this, you have no way of accessing it. And next thing you know, you don't really crave it because you know you can't get it. And so if you know you can't get something, you're not going to try to get it. And so this is how you understanding the motive, like the true motive. And you can ask yourself right now, what distractions do I have? And how can I, what underlying motive does this solve? And how can I solve this underlying motive with something else? For example, you struggle with getting distracted on social media. Maybe it's because you don't hang out enough with people, right? Or you just feel lonely. This is the underlying motive, right? You can go back and listen to the first, like the main 7, like true causes, right? And see, okay, how does this tie in? How does this bad behavior ties into one of these habits? And how can I solve this need that I have in myself? I have the need for social interactions. How can I solve this need without social media? Well, I can go just work with a friend, work at a coffee shop, right? I can do all these things to still meet my need, my deep underlying motive and need for to feel like I can survive, not feel lonely, but not do the bad behavior and do the good one, right? Hope this serves you. If it did, please share it with someone that you think it might help, and subscribe to not miss the next episode. Is going to also, I think, maybe be on distractions and more things that I learned from Atomic Habits. And watch the previous one if you didn't, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.